So Lolly Lolly says, blaze a trail, be in the vanguard, and break the ground. Are these three idioms synonyms? Thanks. First, I would say, instead of saying break the ground, let's just say break ground. Break ground. And often we actually use it more commonly, more typically, as groundbreaking. We would say a groundbreaking discovery. A trailblazer as well, as a noun, a person who does that, right? So how can we think about these? How are they used? So let's take trailblazer or blaze a trail. First, what are the forms? Well, you can say to blaze a trail is to do something before others do it. Okay? You do something first or early, and then others follow. A trailblazer is a type of truck, but it's also a person who does that. A person who innovates, a person who does things for the first time. And then others follow. That's the focus. A trailblazer focuses on being the first to innovate, to do, to try. Then there are others who are going to be saying, oh, look at that person doing that. I'm going to try that next. After the trailblazer has done it. That's the focus of that. That's generally how it's used. You might use that for entrepreneurs, inventors, creative people, artists, trailblazers. They lead the way for others to follow. Now, to be in the vanguard is a military term, and it's related to being at the front of the line, right? Yes, being at the vanguard of a movement, for example, is common. Being at the vanguard of maybe an innovation is okay. First, it's not a very common expression. It's not as common as the other two that we're talking about. And it might be more often used related to politics or social movements rather than technology. Much more often used for social innovations, for innovations in political thinking, political ideas. Now, you can use trailblazer for politics too. You can say, a real trailblazer in, lawmaking or fighting for justice or whatever it may be. That's fine. At the vanguard of something is generally going to be focused on that kind of stuff. But it doesn't necessarily focus on being the one. It focuses on being part of the movement that's moving forward first, because that's what the vanguard is. It's the first wave of the army moving forward into enemy territory. It's not really focused on the enemy territory part necessarily, but it's a wave, meaning that it's not you. A trailblazer is one individual, whereas the vanguard is being part of the group or wave or movement that is moving forward first. Whether or not people are following. They might be the only ones to do it. Trailblazers blaze a trail, meaning that many, many, many people are going to follow on that trail and do things after this person does them in a similar way, or at least use their example to do their own thing. And being in the vanguard is more, I'm with people who are like me, I'm with people who have the same ideas, we're doing something for the first time, maybe the only time. It may be important, it may be useful, it may be necessary, it may be social, it may be political. But it doesn't necessarily mean that I'm creating a path that people are going to follow. Not necessarily. Not necessarily. In a similar way, if we want to use that for technology, we'll say the cutting edge. The cutting edge is right at the beginning of a new thing in technology, right where new technology is starting, right? Right now, this company is at the cutting edge of AR technology. They're the ones closest to the newest possible thing. Now, is that more like Trailblazer or Vanguard? I think it's more like Vanguard, because technology doesn't necessarily blaze a trail, and it is usually a company that's doing it. Often it's a group of people working on something. We usually talk about companies, right? Innovators. Innovation. Innovation is blazing a trail. It is doing something first. It is being at the vanguard. And the cutting edge is just right where that is, but doesn't necessarily mean that people are going to follow that same example. Maybe yes, maybe no. So we have Trailblazer, Vanguard, different focuses, kind of different ideas, but similar. And then I also mention innovation, and we could also say a person who does that is an innovator, and the cutting edge. The cutting edge is right at the edge of the new thing, usually technology. Not always, but usually technology. Can we say I'm a cutting edger? No. Just at the cutting edge. Or I'm always pushing the envelope, or I'm always focused on being at the cutting edge of technology. Okay. What about the last thing? What about break ground? Breaking ground, or a groundbreaking thing, focuses on the event, the action, the moment, rather than being a continuous thing. If we say a groundbreaking discovery, one word, by the way, adjective, groundbreaking, one word, discovery, it's a moment. This thing was found. This new thing was found. Is it on the cutting edge? Maybe. Is it an innovation? Maybe. Is it part of blazing a trail? Yeah, sure. Is it part of the vanguard? Okay, yeah. But it's the momentary step from not having that to having it, from not being there to being there, from not having made it to making it. And we can talk about it as an event. You really broke ground with your idea to whatever it may be, political thing, technological thing. Doesn't matter. Could be social, could be political, could be technological, could be musical, artistic. Right? Luke, I really like the way that you organized the group class on Zoom. You really broke ground. It's a new model of teaching. I didn't really do that. But if I do, it might be. Right? Then I would be a trailblazer. And the thing that I did that first allowed me to start blazing the trail would be breaking ground. It would be a groundbreaking innovation, a groundbreaking idea. Hopefully that makes sense. It's just an example. So they all have a different focus. They're all hovering around the same kind of idea, but we really have to dive into them to get a feeling for how they're used, right? And we do that through example and sort of talking it out. So that's my general understanding of these. That's how I use them. And hopefully now they're a little bit more clear. It's a very good question. Lolly lolly. So great. Thanks for asking. Guys, if you haven't already, make sure you hit the like button. Make sure you subscribe. I'm doing that because I recommend that you use your nose to do it. It works better if you use your nose. Just subscribe. And then don't forget to check out my full courses in the links in the description.